You need to listen to it, and then we can do the show.
All right,
You need
hold
to
on. Let me.
you need to put it on speaker. It's absolutely hilarious, and I hope Sarah enjoys it.
All
I'm
right,
sorry,
yeah.
HR.
HR has not listened to it yet either, so.
There are moments in history that are a once in a generation.
This is AI?
A time here the impossible is
Is
possible.
there music?
A time for guys
Yeah,
who
can
love
you kinda hear
movies
it?
can finally speak their
Some
minds
I
and
can hear
show
it.
to
strings.
the world. Two friends who became men in the shadow of stardom and fame. Tonight we celebrate the annual Movie Guys Podcast Awards. These awards are not just your basic awards,
Not
but
just.
an award show for the movie lover and fan.
That's right.
Over 10 years, Eric and Jordan have brought you weekly episodes every Thursday. Joined with friends and celebrities alike. These two men rose above the odds. Rose above the doubters and the bad reviews. We celebrate 10 seasons of Movie Guys Podcast.
Look at this.
We celebrate like the fall of the Berlin Wall, like the end of World War II, like when your favorite movie wins Movie of the Year. This is the podcast for the movie fan, a podcast for the blue-collar Joe who just wants to laugh. This award show is...
Oh, it's still going. I swear I heard it say Fall of the Berlin Wall
Annual Movie Guys
instead of the
Podcast
Berlin
Award.
Wall.
Thank you for downloading our recent episode. For more episodes like this, go to movieguyspodcast.podbean.com for more episodes. Enjoy the show.
Hello and welcome to another Thursday episode of Movie Guys Podcast. Today we're talking about A League of Their Own. Eric, did you see the very, very funny racist cartoons of all the enemy when they were throwing pitches and tryouts? It was hilarious. How the hell you doing?
Oh, wow. I think I maybe overlooked
Missed that one.
that. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. It's in the middle of the movie. They're doing tryouts, and the girls are throwing baseballs at white cartoon sketches of Hitler.
Oh, yes, I did. I do
Mussolini.
remember that, yeah.
But the one that had me pausing was the Japanese emperor, where he looked very racial 1940s, and I was like, nice,
Yeah.
nice.
I can see what the picture looked like now, kind of out of the same band Popeye cartoon. You're a sap, Mr. Jap, or the Donald Duck one. Yeah, I know exactly
It was great.
the picture that you're painting here, bud, or that they're painting.
Mhm.
But yeah, A League of Their Own. This was a movie that, for me, whenever it came on television, and it did come on television often in my house, it stayed on. I just always enjoyed this movie as a kid. It was in that era of, like, maybe I was like 8, between 10 years old, 8 and 10, where everything was like baseball, where it was, if it wasn't ninja related, then baseball seemed to be really taking over a lot of the movie theaters, or at least in the young boy's life, whether it be like Sandlot, Rookie of the Year, or this movie.
Yes. I will agree with you, but disagree with you. This was another one of those TNT, right? Sunday movie, right? That was constantly playing, right?
Okay.
I've never seen this all the way through. I have seen the moments. I've never seen the ending. So the ending was very surprising to me. Made me kind of angry.
Sure. Can't wait to talk about that. Yeah.
Yeah. But I've seen the moments, right? I have seen the tryouts. I've seen there's no crying in baseball. It would be like the reason why I never seen it all the way through is because I would turn on TV, TNT. There it is. There's no crying in baseball, and then my mom says I gotta go mow the lawn or something, or
Yep.
you know what I mean?
Yep.
Come
Yep.
back.
One of
You know,
the
try out.
most quotable parts in this movie, I think, actually, if I could pull up the trivia, what was it, number 54 in like American Film Association's most best quotes in a movie or something like that?
Needs to be top 50. And I was reading last night that this movie is in the Congress Film Archives, whatever library now.
Yeah, yeah. It has definitely made an impact. When you have a quote like that that survives now the director and some of the cast, I think that it's something to be said, right?
Yeah, something to be said. Totally agree with you on that. I did not know much going into this movie, so I sit down with my wife, press play, and I'm like, okay, so is this based on a true story? And she goes, nah, it's not. It's not based on a real story. Maybe it is, she said it, but I don't think it takes place in World War II. And I was like, okay. So I pull up my phone, credits are going. I'm like, no, this is real.
Yeah.
This is 100% real. This is a real league that happened during World War II. Some of the names are real, but 100% of the story is fictitious. You know, they just took some of the ideas. I also like the fact that it was in real life, it was the Chicago Cubs owner, Mr. Wrigley, that came up with the league. But in this movie, it was at the Cubs field, but it was called Harvey or
Yep.
something like that.
That's
So,
right,
yeah,
Harvey,
yeah,
who was Gary Marshall, by the way. Penny Marshall's
Yes.
brother?
So this is real, kind of.
It's inspired by real events.
Evidently, the Peaches in real life went down as winning the most championships in real life, too.
Very inspirational. Penny Marshall apparently became inspired by watching a documentary about the AAPL or whatever it is, on a PBS. AAGPBL. Oh, that's a lot of letters.
Terrible name. You can tell this was a bunch of madmen. What are we going to name this lady league?
Yeah, well, calling it the Girls League is definitely something that wouldn't fly now, right? And then having them wear those short skirts is another thing as well, too. But whatever puts butts in the seats, I guess.
All that. You know, I do want to go through the movie beat by beat, right? Because that's what we do. But I really do like the sexism in this. Now, what I mean by that is this movie feels of the time. It really, really does. Like, I can believe that this is what people would say. Like, excuse me, owner of this baseball league, why are we wearing skirts? And he's like, if you want to play professional ball, you're going to wear the skirts. Because you're ladies. Ladies wear skirts. And it's just like, so of the time period, right? It'll be different, right? One of the things that I was questioning was the very first game. And they're being heckled. And I'm looking at my wife, and I was like, well, then why do these people show up? If they're calling all these girls terrible players, then why are they even there? It just shows you the time.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
So it's just that
Well, probably nothing else to do, right? I mean, it's the 40s.
one of the lines that the announcer said at the ballpark, he was like, and you're all here because there's a tractor pull down the street or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. They got a free admittance with, a purchase of Cracker Jacks or something.
How about this? I'll make my argument more clear. So do you remember Gangs of New York in the beginning when they had that big battle?
Yes.
That's in the 1860s, and while they're having the big battle, they have hip-hop music playing over.
Yeah, of the times, right?
Took me out of the movie. Yes. It took me out of the movie, right? I still love the movie. It just took me off. It's like, what, you know what I mean? So for this to be set during the middle of World War II, and for have women to be looked on in society the way they are, they stay true to the time period. So because of that, I found that nice that they weren't trying to do something crazy and outlandish, and they stay true to what the time period was, and I dug that. That's all I'm trying to
It does
get
get praised very well for doing just that. And as I read in the trivia and for the production notes, a lot of the staff and the producers were actually, including Penny Marshall, probably more so, were pretty beat up about not being more inclusive in the movie because it is an all-white cast. It is an all-white team or all-white leagues, really. But that is of the time, and it is, I guess, recognized for its accuracy in that. They did have a scene, obviously, where there is a colored section, and the one lady is throwing a ball back and does so very well with some speed and some oomph on it, and there's that nod, I guess, that it's there because I I'm pretty sure, if I read this correctly, this all happens after the color barrier has already been broken by Jackie Robinson.
That's what I was gonna ask you. Where are we in this world in baseball right now? In towards the end of World War II, did Jackie Robinson happen? There's no more colored league anymore. Like it's all mixed now at this point.
I think that's kind of, baseball is at all-time high, the popularity. And as we know from sports now, that if a sport is successful, then it will try to branch off and to do other branches, other leagues, other kind of competition, whether in this time it be an all-women's league. Well, it was more so kind of obligated to do that because all of the male players were becoming soldiers and fighting off in a war, or a American Negro League, which I don't think was a long-term thing. I think, again, more people would show up to the Women's League than the American Negro League. But, again, these are questions better for a historian than two guys on a podcast.
Yeah, two guys on a podcast, they don't know what the heck they're talking about. So, movie opens up, shocked, by the way, because we get old Gina Davis, and I'm like, oh, that's bad old woman makeup, right? I think it's Gina Davis throughout the whole movie. I do some IMDb research afterwards. None of the old people are played by the young people. There's no old makeup. This is a real actress, and Gina Davis's voice was dubbed over hers.
Yep, this is Lynn Cartwright, who is a actress in her own in the golden era of Hollywood there. But like you said, yeah, dubbed over with Gina Davis's voice.
Yeah, I blew me away, right? Because at the end of the film, right, we see the older Rosie O'Donnell character and the older Madonna character, right? I'm just like, that doesn't look like Madonna or Rosie O'Donnell in the old makeup. Like, no. But it's like, that looks like Gina Davis. So they did pretty well on that, right? Like,
They did the best they could, I think. Yeah.
It got me. So the movie came out in 1992. Where is Tom Hanks and his career in 1992? I believe in 1993 he does Philadelphia, and then he does Forrest Gump, and then Toy Story. So I don't 1991, where is Tom Hanks? He just got off of Big, that was directed by Penny Marshall as well.
Yeah. And good on her, because she's kind of in the same boat of Tom Hanks, coming from TV and going into movies. So
Right.
Tom Hanks has done some obscure movies at this point, some cult classics, but he started doing TV early 80s, right? And then he started to really find these movies where, I guess, again, cult classics, where he's there. They do well, but he's playing it safe. He's trying to find, like, is he comedy? Is he drama? Type of thing. He can kind of find his range a bit more. So he's already done Splash. He's already done Money Pit. He's already done, like, Dragnet, Big, like you said, too. He's already done The Burbs. Right?
It's fun. So this was 92, so 91. Did he just do Sleepless in Seattle at this point?
He did Joe versus the Volcano, which is the other Meg Ryan movie.
Where does Sleepless in Seattle come into play? Was that 80s?
That's the movie after this.
So in 92 he does this. What was Philadelphia 93?
Philadelphia was also 93, and then that's the first Oscar movie, I think, right?
Okay, so he does this. He does Sleepless in Seattle, then Philadelphia, Forrest Gump, Toy Story. Got it. Okay, so this guy, this
Apollo 13 in between there.
Apollo 13, and then at the end of the decade we got Castaway and Private Ryan. So right here we're seeing a young Tom Hanks starting on the rise. Like it's like his star's there, but it's rising at this point, right? For this movie.
I think, again, he's establishing range a bit, because in a lot of these other movies that he had done, he kind of plays this happy-go-lucky, average Joe kind of a guy, right? Like in Splash, or like in Joe vs. the Volcano, he kind of does like a romance. I guess a little bit in Big as well too, but for the most part, like in Big or The Burbs or Turner and Hooch, he plays like a goof. He plays just kind of like this. I don't want to say simple guy, but right, an easy character, kind of like your big brother, just being a doofish
Yeah.
kind of a person.
I was just curious where Tom Hanks was. I got some other questions about some other actors as we get going, but old Gina Davis has a daughter. She's a grandma, and she doesn't want to get on this plane because this is 1988, by the way. I had to look it up because I thought it was modern day in 92. But this is 1988 where this opens, and she's getting on a plane to go to the Baseball Hall of Fame because the All-American Girls Professional Baseball League, there we go,
Nice.
I think, is being inducted into the Hall of Fame, which is great.
Yes.
And she's nervous. She doesn't want to go. And then here starts our story. We get Gina Davis and the chick from Free Willy.
Lori Petty.
And she was also Tank Girl.
Yeah, she's been in a lot. She was also in, what was that movie that I screwed up on? Oh man.
Tank Girl?
Yeah. No, the other movie that I screwed up on that I failed to record. Oh man.
Oh.
Point Break.
Point Break, yeah.
Yeah, she was in Point Break. Actually, that was the movie before this one.
So just like Tom Hanks, her star is on the rise too at this point.
I think she's still kind of finding her angle. Like a lot of these actors are, I don't want to say established yet. I'd say Tom Hanks is becoming a name, but he's got a bright career after this movie where it's just more and more. Where I think these, like Gina Davis or like Lori Petty, and again, a lot of the other actresses in this movie are maybe still trying to find a angle in a wedge. Hollywood at this time is pretty sexist. They go obviously by image, and if you're capable of doing like a character, which she is, she obviously did that in Tank Girl, but there are some other people in this movie who have very, 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 very small parts that grow to be actresses. I'll give you one. She played first base for the Racina team. Tay Leone. Tay Leone? Yeah, Tay Leone.
Why do I know that name?
She's been in a lot of movies, but hold on, let me pull up her rap sheet here. You'll be surprised at, and probably, first of all, let me get the name correct, too, because I probably screwed that one up. Tay Leone, yeah. She was in Spanglish, I remember that. A Family Man, Deep Impact, Bad Boys, Jurassic Park 3.
Okay. Yep. Now I know. Fun and Dick and Jane, Madam Secretary, Jurassic Park. Yeah, she was in this movie. I didn't see her.
She is, again, kind of a blip, small part. She played first base for the other team.
Okay.
Was it the Rochelle Rockets or whatever? Or
the Bells?
Racine first base.
Oh, I didn't know. Okay. So we're talking a lot about history, where these characters from. Want to talk about the movie, and I do want to say, I don't know if this is controversial or not, I ended up ending this movie with hating Gina Davis.
Really? Why is that?
Oh, I think she's a weak character. I mean, what the point of a movie, in my opinion, is you start here, you go up, you go down, and then you finish, right? There has to be an arc.
Okay.
There has to be an arc. I don't feel Gina Davis has an arc at all. She says in the beginning of this movie, she doesn't even like baseball. She doesn't even want to be here. She knows she's good, but she doesn't want to be here.
Right.
She's all about her husband, who's fighting overseas, which is great, but that she doesn't want to be there. She only gets tagged along because her sister's gung-ho and her sister loves baseball. And then every time her sister tries, her sister's not bad, her sister tries to go against her, she always gets beat because Gina Davis is, Jesus.
She's just
right?
better. Like, that's...
I hate her.
I think that's you're right. There's maybe not much of an arc, not as big of a bell curve as there would be for other characters. But
Right.
I will say that she is pretty much introduced as somebody who's a natural beauty and a natural talent for this. So because of that,
Sure.
she has this birthright to just be naturally good. And she doesn't have to try as hard because it just comes naturally to her. Where her little sister, Kit, is someone who's always second. She's just trying, no matter how hard she tries, she can never get to that level. She's always going to be in the shadow. And yeah, I agree that her Dottie, that is, baseball was not number one. That she's just like, I really don't care. Yeah, I enjoy it. I have fun with it, but I'm cool with just being on the farm as well too. So I don't know if she's a person that really like wants for not, but it's just one of those things where she's just, I feel like, is it selfish where she is just kind of doing it just to kind of appease her sister and be like, all right, we'll find it. Yeah, I'll do it if you shut up.
Yeah, so that's one of the reasons why I don't like her. I mean, like she's this big sister figure throughout the whole movie, can't do anything wrong, and even when she does do things wrong, she doesn't get scolded. Where Tom Hanks, a woman overthrows a ball, and she's just getting scolded. You know,
Ooh.
Gina Davis wakes up and is like, I'm just gonna leave with my husband.
Maybe we get
care.
this out of the intro, because in her elder years, her twilight, when we're made to believe that she's stuck in her room, and she does so by choice. She doesn't want to be an inconvenience. She doesn't like the spotlight. She's like, no, if I go there, then everyone will be paying attention to me, and I don't want that. And I think that's the same part of this, where she gets scouted by John Lovitz, and she's like, I don't want that. That comes with the spotlight. That comes with some trouble. I'm a simple farm girl, and I like it. I like it simple. I'm happy with this life. I don't want it. I like baseball. I like playing baseball, but I don't like the spotlight more.
Okay. All right.
I'm just trying to define it, because at the same part, I feel like when we get at the end of the movie, her decision is, I can get why you're angry, but her decision is one where she doesn't care that much, right, that she throws away the championship for her entire team to give it to her sister. And I feel like that's kind of, I don't know. It's like, why'd you turn around then? Why not just not play at all, right, and just let the fates decide? Because that way, if your sister wins without you being there, then it feels more deserved. But if not, then it's just kind of, I don't know. I feel like it's a mixed bag there at the end.
Well, okay, so that's one of my issues. Can you hear me, by the way?
Yeah.
Okay. Can't see me for some reason.
Yeah.
I had to restart everything. I don't know why. But I don't like that she. Okay, I feel that she throws it at the end, but we'll talk about that later.
She does it for her sister, right?
I guess.
Well, yes or no? Like, I feel like that she does. It's implied, I think.
Yes, it's heavily implied that she did it for her sister. I totally agree with you on that. Okay, all right. So they also meet probably my first favorite character in this whole movie. Second is Hooch, the girl that was hitting the baseballs in the gym.
Yeah, Marla.
But my first favorite character of this movie ever is John Lovett. He is absolutely slimy, racist, sexist. He is everything that I hate, and I love him for it. He's great.
Yeah. He plays a very John Lovitz character. I guess there was a lot more screen time with him, but they just left in like what they thought were the good parts, the parts that tested well. So I guess he had more of a character, but I think it worked. They slimmed that part down, and it became more memorable.
Yes, I loved everything that he did. I was really, really happy with him. Let's see here. What else? So then they get on a train and they start picking up. And then you said, who was the other girl's name?
Marla Hooch.
I love Marla Hooch. She's fun. I love the relationship with her and her dad. I found that to be very believable, right? Like, hey, don't let me being a bad dad be the reason why she can't play. I raised her like a boy, He loved his daughter. I thought it was sweet.
Yeah, this is Megan Kavanaugh. She had made her rounds in the 90s and 2000s for movies and TV shows. So she's definitely not a one-off. I think you would recognize her in some other projects.
Yeah, so she was like in Naked Gun, right?
She was, I think, more notably for a lot of people in Robin Hood Men in Tights as Broomhilda.
Oh. She was.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, and she kind of just plays that part for... she put on a pantsuit and be in the West Wing. Or like, a one-off character in another TV show. I remember her being on the Home Improvement for a bunch of episodes because she played the very wealthy girlfriend of Al Borland.
I don't remember that.
Well, when you live in Southeast Michigan, Home Improvement is going to be on TV one way or another.
Okay. No, I did not know that at all. Hey, can we break? I'm having major technical difficulties here.
Yeah, sure.
Something's going on. My camera just turned off for no reason, and my GarageBand stopped recording. Everything just kind of stopped. I don't know why. Why did everything stop? Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I don't know what happened.
Who knows, ma'am? But I'm still recording. I didn't stop recording. My neighbor has been mowing the lawn, starting the lawn at 8 o'clock at night.
All right. Well, my GarageBand is not happening tonight. It was working. All of a sudden, you froze, and everything just stopped. I don't know why.
Bummer.
So, just upload what you record
Yep.
later on.
Yes, sir.
Stupid motherfucker. Never had issues with the Mac computer before. Okay. Let's start with you're telling me about
Marla.
Men in Tights. Yeah, Men in Tights. Start with that.
She was in Men in Tights. She's been in a lot of stuff. That's what I was trying to say. A lot of TV shows, a lot of just, a lot of other projects. Obviously playing to kind of her looks, I guess if you want to say.
I thought she looked great.
Well, they definitely put her down a bit to make her kind of the joke in this movie. But in other movies or other shows, whether it be like Broomhilda, she's kind of the same way. But in other shows, they obviously do her hair, do some makeup, and it works.
Right. So where is... Okay, so now we go to Wrigley Field, and the girls are all trying out. It's 100 girls that are... Women, sorry. 100 women trying out. And they're going to separate them in teams. It looks like everybody's going to get in a team besides a few, right? They have enough. They have 5 teams. You have to be really, really bad if you're not going to get on a team.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like there was like something like 64 girls that were going to be women that were going to be up on the team. I could have swore that I saw the cut list, and it looked like maybe a dozen names were cut.
Oh yeah, that's what it looks like to me. And check this out, dude. I googled it. They were like, "Hey, Gina Davis and Lori Petty,
Lori Petty.
come play this game. You're gonna get $75 a week." And I was like, "Whoa!" And Gina's like, "Is that a lot of money? Probably." I said, "I'm gonna Google it." Do you know these women, today's dollars, at $75 a week is equal to $13.50 a week?
13, like $1,350. That's not bad actually.
$75 a week in 1944, 45
Yeah.
is comparable to $1,300 today's money.
It sounds like that is, per the stories that I've heard from some of the women in the movie, they're making more than their unemployed counterparts.
100%. I was amazed by that. I was like, hey, quit complaining about wearing a skirt. Take that $1,300 a week.
Yeah, exactly. I believe the person who played Evelyn, she had said, and she was the one that had the kid, she had said that the reason why she took the kid is because her husband couldn't look through the employed papers or through the job postings with that kid running around. So she at this time is making more money than her husband.
That's a lot of money. And I'm assuming, I don't know how long the season is. Let's just say the summer. It's probably not 100 some games like men's league.
Sure, let's say
But-
16 weeks.
16 weeks, that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
So, then we get introduced to our cast of characters, Rosie O'Donnell and Madonna. 1992, Rosie O'Donnell. This is a year before Flintstones, I'm assuming, because that's what made her, right?
She was a comic.
Right, but
I
this-
think
but
I
this
think
one-
what made her was honestly Rodney Dangerfield, because I think she performed in his club, and in like the late 80s, early 90s, if you were a comic on the rise, you got a TV show, you got movies. That was the next spot up, where you would get your writing chops and they would move you into Hollywood. Hey, you got an idea for a movie? You got an idea for a TV show? And it would happen. So I think this may have been her first movie. Yes, it looks like her first movie. After that, it was just a lot of kind of one-offs, probably just doing her stand-up a bit more, trying to really find more work. She did, there you go, the classic Car 54, Where Are You? And then Flintstones. So, yeah, I think you're correct. That Flintstones may have been her, not breakout role, but definitely a very large step up.
This is her breakout role, and everybody loved her in this movie. I loved her in this movie. And then she goes and kills it with Flintstones. 1-2 punch, bud.
Yeah. And then after that, she obviously has some other movies, some other TV shows. She's working. She's doing a lot. She's doing multiple projects in a year. It looks like 96 was pretty big for her. And eventually, she starts getting a big enough name where she can do a little bit of a cameo voice work until she lands her own talk show.
Which was huge. Clang, clang, clang with the trolley.
Oh, my God. Oh my God! Yeah, and the koosh balls or whatever that she'd fling.
I gotta YouTube these episodes after the show.
Wow, and that was in the realm of like she didn't come out yet.
She came out on the show eventually, right?
Right,
I'm
but I
assuming.
remember the
Yeah.
big thing about that show was because I do remember that she was running pretty good numbers during the Rosie O'Donnell show, but that she wanted to try to get Tom Cruise on there, and they were all Tom Cruise crazy, and I think she was just faking it.
Yeah, well, okay, so I have to elephant in the room. She makes some comments about, yeah, this is my boyfriend or husband, and somebody's like, he's not a good looker, and she says like, yeah, well, he's the only one that doesn't think I'm weird, and I'm like all the other boys, and I'm like, oh,
I
the
mean,
character's probably gay.
I do find the self awareness of these actresses and the characters really to be endearing. Like they're not trying to sugarcoat it. The person who plays
Right.
Marla, she knows that she's not as attractive as any of these. A lot of these other, I won't say any, but a lot of the other players on the team. Same with Rosie O'Donnell and her character. What the hell is her character's name again? Doris.
Rosie. Oh,
It's Rosie O'Donnell. Doris, where she knows that she doesn't have a petite figure like May does, like all the way May.
I want to talk about All the Way May. I looked this up. I don't have to ask this question, but I'm going to for the sake of it. Where is Madonna in 1992? You know where she is? She's in the middle of a erotica album.
I was
Hot
gonna say it
off
was.
of Dick Tracy.
Oh,
She's hot off the heels of Dick Tracy. Now she's Vogue is in the rearview mirror. She just came out with that black and white documentary, right?
yeah.
And she's all about erotica.
She's trying to move into Hollywood, right?
Yeah, yeah, and I love that she plays, well, all the way May. That suits her.
Yeah, that really does. I like that they make the joke about what her name means. Like
Right.
the announcer, like, oh, she got a triple. That's why they call her All the Way May.
All the way May. Yeah. Look, every woman that is a character, right? Not the background characters that we don't know, but every woman in this movie that's a character plays to their strengths well. I think Madonna is perfect in this role. I think Rosie O'Donnell is perfect. Even though I don't like Gina Davis in this movie, I think she's good. Like I'm not disliking anybody. The person that we are supposed to dislike, who my wife says was the villain of the movie, was Tom Hanks. I'm like, he's not the villain. He's he's a lovable buffoon. So let's talk about him. Is this a real guy that he's playing, or is this made up?
I thought that this guy was made up.
Okay, he was made up. He is a washed up Chicago Cubs baseball player. He went down in history as doing, what, 3 home runs in one game. He had 56, 58 home runs in a season.
Yeah, like 50. Yeah, exactly. He was a good baseball player. He was a good ball player, but he just liked to drink.
He couldn't get off the hooch. And
It
We
happens
find
to the
out
best
these-
of them, you know.
he does. We find out the reason why he walks with a limp is simply because he fell out of a hotel. And he's washed up. He needs money. And the owner of the Cubs is like, hey, I'm going to pull you out of the gutters. And all I want you to do is coach this ladies baseball team. Take your hat off, wave to the crowd. You're still popular enough. And that's it. Fun fact, IMDb trivia. The very funny scene where he walks in for the first game, Tom Hanks does, and he's stumbling drunk and he pees.
Classic.
Tom Hanks, that was one take. Tom Hanks did not know how long the pee was going to go for because behind him was Penny, the director, with the hose in the toilet.
Yep, just letting it go, huh?
I can see where Austin Powers got it from. Evacuation.
Well, this is where the rumor started, right? Oh no, because didn't he do it in Splash? Does he pee in Splash and burps? Either way.
What's the rumor?
Okay, so if you're aware of like a lot of Hollywood rumors that some actors is a joke that they have something in their contract. For instance, Tom Cruise always has to be running. So every one of his movies he's going to be running, right? Brad Pitt always has to be eating something. He's always
Right.
eating something in the movie that he's in. Tom Hanks always pees in his movie.
He pees in Castaway because they made that clear.
Yep. He pees in this movie, obviously.
I think he pees in Saving Private. Don't they pee on stuff to cool it down?
It's a lot. There's a huge list of theories. It's kind of fun. Bryan Cranston in whitey tighties or in his underwear. There's a long list of it. It's great. Is it consistent? There's obviously going to be a few movies where they don't do it, but it's a fun little joke.
Right. So we get the first game here, and the Peaches are not coached by Tom Hanks. They're coached by, well, the ladies, right? Gina Davis has kind of been the leader of it. Rosie O'Donnell takes the charge sometimes, and they're winning games without Tom Hanks' help, and they're doing good, right? But they need something, right? Because they're going to fold the league down after this first year. They're going to dismantle it. So what are you going to do? Newsweek is, Life Magazine. Life Magazine is here, and we need a cover shot. And this is where Gina Davis says, not only am I an amazing baseball player without even trying, I'm also a gymnast.
Some pizzazz. Yeah, I think they wanted just some flair, right?
And, me being me, because I'm not liking her as a character in this movie, she was one of the last ones to be casted in this. So all the other women went through, like, baseball training, right?
Yeah,
She did it. And the splits wasn't even done by her. It was done by her stunt double.
No.
other women
I saw is that she's able to do the splits, and she was for that shot, but she cannot slide into the splits.
Correct. So she had her stunt double do that. Why? No other women have stunt doubles. I'm just saying, sir.
That was on purpose. Penny Marshall had said, and I'm sure you're probably reading the same thing that I am, right? That she had like 2,000 something actresses try out to play either B-roll or on main cast, and she wanted these actresses to play baseball. In fact, when they were switching over or doing scene checks, they had the crew play innings, play scrimmages, and they would just capture B-roll on that, so they could get footage of them doing shots, whether it be hitting balls or making catches, throwing pitches, all the stuff like that. But yeah, everyone was playing. Apparently not Madonna. Apparently she just sucked.
I could see that. Madonna's is a burlesque dancer. She doesn't get her hands dirty.
Yeah, but for the most part everyone was getting in the dirt, baby. They were rocking out.
It's great. It was great. So the Peaches are winning. The season's going on. This is where Gina Davis finds out that Tom Hanks has a heart of gold, and they become friends, right? The tension is there for them to kiss. I thought they were going to. They don't do it, and I'm glad they don't do it. But there's definitely tension.
That was in the movie originally. There was a lot of cuts made to this movie. So I guess that Dottie and Jimmy were originally, they had a scene where they were going to kiss and they were having a love interest, but it screened better, and this was, I think, an executive decision by Penny Marshall, where they wanted to keep Dottie likable in the viewer's eyes, and having her cheat on her husband while he was away fighting a war is not a good look. So they scrapped that thing altogether, and it just tested better.
Just to add to it, right? We've seen this movies before, but why not have her get wrong information that her husband died in the war, and she's distraught and upset and sad, and she just needs to go and just cry in somebody's arms, and then she smooches on Tom Hanks, and the next day was like, oops, our mistake, wrong Dottie, your husband's alive still.
I think, you know what, actually I think there was a good part in this movie, because we are told at the beginning of the movie the reason why that there is a women's league is because all the guys are enlisted, right? They're all fighting overseas. Our boys are fighting whatever, doing that whole transatlantic thing. But we forget like halfway through the movie that there's a war going on, right? That
you
these
do.
women are married and they have lives outside of this baseball thing. We're kind of caught up in the movie of baseball, and then you have this very sad scene where they get a telegram right from the War Department, and the guy is being very inconsiderate, right? Just kind of like, oh, there's no name on it. You'd think they'd be more thoughtful, for a dead husband to write some name on there, and it is a record scratch. It just completely silences that locker room because everyone there, maybe like one or two people who aren't married, right? But still, they probably have friends, family, somebody. Everyone's involved and affected by this war, right? And to get that telegram, yeah. So good on Jimmy for snatching the telegram, kicking the kid out, and delivering the bad news. And you get that moment where it's just like, oh yeah, that's right. Like, we are in a war, and Betty Spaghetti, her husband, dies in the war, right? And the scene after, you get a scene where Dottie is just really grieving in her room because she misses. There's a gamble here. They might not come home.
No, that scene almost got me, right? Because I'm just like, oh, that's right, there's a war, and then like it's filmed perfectly, right? Because Tom Hanks has the telegram, he sees it, he reads it, he knows who it is, right? And he's starting to walk slowly, and then it goes to all the women, like, who is it, right? And he goes right to Gina Davis, and it's like, oh no, right? And he's like, sorry, Betty Spaghetti, and her scream was so realistic to me. I mean, like, I'm not trying to be that guy, but it was so realistic. I felt her. You know what I mean? Like, it was like, oh, that feels real.
No, this is a heartfelt movie, man. There's a lot of, there's a lot of good moments in this movie. And a part like that does remind you a bit that, like, oh yeah, this is real or was real, where these players, these athletes, were out there doing this, to kind of support everybody, but there's a toll. And geez, imagine having to hear that news and then having to go play.
I don't think she played that game, did she?
We can assume, like, you would like to think, right, that Jimmy was just like, no, you don't. You can sit this one out, right?
Designated hitter. Yeah, that's what you're going to be today. Before we get into the reveal after Gina Davis is crying, though, while this is all going on, we still get the inner struggle with the sisters, right? And no. What happens? I'm sorry, hold on. I saw this last night. So Gina Davis's no, she's upset about what happened, so she tells the general manager that she's going to quit. And he's like, no, you can't quit. You can't do it. And she's like, well, then trade me. I don't want to do this. I don't want to be here, because she had a big issue with her sister.
This happens because of a in-game decision where...
That's right.
Yeah, where Kit, who is the pitcher, and Dottie, who is the catcher, right? Well, there was just a bad game, and they were, that's basically what happens, right? Pitchers can't... It's hard for a pitcher to pitch 9 innings, right? Like, you have an opener, you have a closer, you got, substitutes, and she was slugging, or she was being sluggish, rather. She was not throwing them the way that she used to. Not a good day for her, for Kit. So Jimmy comes out to the mound, says, hey, listen, I'm going to have to take you out. And she goes, no, I can finish it. Dottie comes up to the mound. Jimmy asks her, like, what do you think? And ultimately, Dottie's just like, yeah, you gotta get rid of her. She's throwing grapefruits. And Jimmy, calls her out. And this is where Kit has a meltdown, right?
And rightfully so. Again, these two suck as sisters. I don't like these two. I really don't. I like everybody else but these two.
Yeah, well, sure. I guess because everyone else is characters, and these two are kind of like the base, right? That the story revolves around a bit. But yeah, Kit crashes out and fights Rosie O'Donnell. I keep on forgetting her name. Doris. I gotta get it right. Gotta get it right for this movie. And yeah, she blows up, and Dottie's just like, you know what? Why am I doing this? I didn't even want to do this in the first place. And she's just like, I'm ready to go home. I don't care. I don't care about this league. I would rather just be at home, waiting for my husband, doing the thing. And that's when the commissioner, I guess, interim or whatever, Ira, Lowenstein, who is working for Gary Marshall, the chocolate guy, the guy who created this league. He's like, no, you can't leave. You're my star player. You're the draw. I'll do whatever you want. And in just her fit of, I don't know, just frustration, she just kind of was just like, just trade me to another team. I don't care, kind of a thing. You do that or I'm out. And he's just like, oh, yeah, I can do that, no problem. And trades Kit instead.
Yes, which was wrong on him, right? Because she said, trade me, and he goes and trades the sister. But the sister has been the problem, though. Kit has been the problem. At the end of the movie, when she's pitching, everybody's hitting her pitches. She sucks. That's the point, right?
I think you could put blame on a lot of people on this, but for me, I would put the blame on Kit. I think that she's just so headstrong and stubborn that she can't look back and be like, listen, you're good, Kit. You are good. Don't get that wrong, but you're not the all-star, right? You are. This is a team. You aren't the whole team here. You can only do so much. So sometimes you gotta eat some humble pie and take a seat on the bench type of thing. But instead, because Dottie said, oh yeah, you should bench her for like 2 innings left in a game, by the way, she's just like, no, I never want to do it. And it's like, did you forget that you're in here because of your sister? Like, the reason, why you're playing this game right now in this league is because of Dottie, and you just seem a bit, I don't know, what's the word I'm looking for? Snotty? Just ungrateful? Yeah.
Selfish. Yeah, just bad, right? So then Kip comes in, right? Gets the one swearing, right? Grabs a baseball, throws it at a window, and she calls Gina Davis, "You bitch!" Right? And then they just have this huge big thing, and then and the next day I think it was Betty Spaghetti's issue, and Gina Davis is crying in bed, and all of a sudden we hear her walking, and all of a sudden here comes her husband back from the war. Discharged because of an injury. As soon as I saw him, I went, and today is our Independence Day.
The President of the United States himself.
The dad of Casper. Not the dad of Casper, but the dad in Casper. Yes. Oh, so great that he's in this movie.
Are you going to say his name?
Paul Newman.
Bill Pullman.
Yeah, Bill Pullman. Bill Paxton.
Yep. Paxton Pullman.
Yeah.
Bill Paxton Pullman.
Bill Pullman. He's great.
Yeah. He has a minor role in this, but he plays it pretty well, I think.
Said he did it as a favor to the director, Penny.
Sure.
So that's what he said. He did it. And the next day, like again, I said at the beginning of the review here, right? Gina Davis doesn't get any punishments at all. Everybody's getting ready to go to the World Series. They're playing against, the evil Bellas.
The Racine Bells.
The Bells. They're playing against the Bells. And, which her sister is on that team, right? And everybody's loading up, but then all of a sudden Tom Hanks sees Gina Davis, and he's just like, what are you doing in your Sunday's best? She's like, I quit. Again, for like the 5th time this movie. And my husband and I are going to drive all the way back to Oregon. And they live in, they live in Oregon, the state. But this movie takes place in Wisconsin and in Illinois. So they're just going to drive. I quit. I'm done.
Yep.
And then the peaches.
Whole 30 miles per hour all the way through.
Right. And then we play a 7-game World Series, and we get the, transatlantic headline, Peaches lose against the Bells.
Yep, exactly. We get a whole count until finally Game 7, 3-3.
Mm-hmm. And I really hated this part too, because this part I liked, but the part after this I didn't like. Where Tom Hanks like, all right, ladies, come on, we're gonna pray, and he would pray exactly how I would pray. Like he says something really stupid and moronic, but then he says something good at the end. And that was nice. That was his redemption, right? That he cares about the ladies.
Yeah.
Right. He really does care, and now the ladies are really caring about him.
There's your arc. You have a better arc in Jimmy than you do in Kid or Dottie.
Exactly. Right? That's why I don't like them in this movie. And then, the one girl's throwing practice pitches, and he keeps on, Tom Hanks keeps on talking to the catcher. He's like, aren't you listening to me? And it's Gina Davis somehow snuck into the stadium, got dressed, went out there, put on her catcher's uniform with nobody noticing. She's like, I'm ready to play, coach.
Yep.
Well, all right, if you want to play, then.
Exactly.
Fine.
She's
Go
she's the diamond, right? The Queen of Diamonds.
The Queen, great name.
Yeah, she can do whatever she wants.
Great.
She's, the
Great.
Caitlin Clark of the league there.
Well, she doesn't get beat up as much. So then we get a great montage of just back and forth, back and forth. Great plays, great plays. Kip is pitching, not pitching great. Everybody's, and then here we go. The top of the ninth, right? And the Peaches are up, what, 2-1?
Yeah.
And all they have to do is just get 3 outs. They got 2 down, quick, right? 1 more out. Here we go. And who's up to bat? Kip. Before this is
Kit.
happening, Kit, I'm sorry. You got really mad at me.
Kip is Futurama. And I wasn't mad at you. I'm just
No, I felt your anger.
Kit. I'm getting that, popping that T.
HR's looking at me. Listen, I'm sorry, okay?
HR's going to listen to this episode, and I'm going to have a word at dinner after she does, and be like, we're going to have a meeting, okay, with Jordan. And, she's going to write up the review here, write up, your notice. Be like, hey, listen, I heard you say Kip when it's Kit. And that's a demerit.
I just want to make it clear, and you can go back and listen to this.
So it'll be
I said-
docked from your pay.
As soon as I said Kip, you loudly spoke. It's Kit! It's like, I am so sorry. I mean, you were upset.
If it's one thing, Jordan, that I will be damned that we pride ourselves on, it is the correct character names. We could screw up the actor or actress's name all day, but we have to have some sort, right, of just level consistency here and honor that movie, honor the workers and the crew and the writers of this movie, of this, piece of history, Jordan. And we have to do right by them. And it starts with it starts with it starts with Kit. Save your letters.
So what I don't like is there's Kip. I'm sorry, I had to. I had to. Okay. What I don't like is the end of this movie. The movie's getting ready to end, and I look at my wife, and I'm like, oh my God, the Peaches are going to lose. She goes, I'm not going to say anything. And I was like, no, they're going to lose for some reason. I have this feeling, right? And then it goes to Kit crying like a little kid in the dugout. Like, oh, God. And then it goes to Gina Davis looking at her, right? And I'm just like, she's going to throw the game for her sister. My wife's like, yeah, right? And then here comes Kit. Comes up. And Gina Davis, time, goes to the pitcher and says, hey, throw the high fastball. She can't hit it.
Yep.
Because at the beginning of the movie, she couldn't hit that.
She couldn't hit it.
Fastball. But now, so 2 pitches, high fastball, can't do it. Can't do it, can't swing. Can't do it. But the third one, hits it.
Oh, yeah.
Boom, right?
Knocks the snot out of it.
Inside the park home run.
Yep, makes a run,
Gina
gets an
Davis-
RBI, ties it up, and now she is the winning run.
Right. Gina Davis is a tough chick in this movie, and she gets the ball thrown at her, right? She has a few seconds to get her, to get her feet planted. And here comes Kit, right? And pile driver just gets right in there, knocks her down, and then the camera, this is what makes me know she's through it. The camera goes to Gina Davis's arm and hand, and she just lets it go.
Yeah.
lets the ball go. I'm like, oh, she threw the game.
She threw the game. Yeah. Gina Davis, Dottie in this role, I mean, she's got, I'd say, a solid 6 inches on the majority of the players. And probably in that part, too, because of her build, at least a good 20 to 30 on a lot of these players as well, too. So I'm not saying she's a wall here, but she's a big athlete. You know, she's going to be a hard person to take down, especially if you're rushing the plate like that and you're charging. That's a lot. And I feel like we already know that she's got a good grip from milking those cows. So that's just a fact, Jordan. I'm done.
Yes, it is. It is a fact.
That's the scene that I watched.
Yes. The movie does not deliberately say that she threw the game. This is my interpretation of it, right? Because everything you just said was right. I mean, this woman is tough. What makes me mad about it is that we are seeing a movie all about the birth of women's professional baseball. And every single woman, we are assuming, that's on any of the teams wants to be there. They're killing for this. $75 a week. This is a way for them to get out of the house, to travel, to see the world, to make friends, and to play professional baseball. Gina Davis, from all we know, doesn't care about the $75, doesn't want to be there. This is her chance to make history, go down in history books as the best player of the league and also MVP winner of the World Series. But she just throws it all away. So her chump sister.
It makes for good drama, right? I understand that. But yeah, at the same part, I agree completely. Like, she is a one and done. She is there for one season, and then she is out. And boy, did she duck out. Everyone else is going to be there for multiple seasons, more than likely, right? This is their dream. This is what they wanted to do. And she's just like, I'm only here for my sister. She gets that far, and just to give it to her sister, like, all right, well, you're welcome. Bye. And I don't know, like, if like later on, if Kit pieced it together. It feels like Jimmy caught on when he said goodbye. Right?
He caught on.
Yeah. But, like, if you were Kit, wouldn't you be angry? Wouldn't you be more upset to find out, like, oh, like, you threw the game? Like, I would feel, but maybe that's just me, a bit insulted where it wasn't a deserved win. But at the same part, she got traded because of Dottie in the first place, so.
No, I actually, I mean, don't take my head shaking as a disagreeing with you. It's I agree with you, but I don't think Kit is that smart or that she cares. Because all she wanted to do was play professional baseball, and in her first year, she gets traded and she wins the series. She's a hero.
Yeah, she gets to finally be the star that she wanted to do, right? Yeah, she wanted to get off the farm, and now she got her ticket. She's now a ball player.
Right, and now she's going to go down in history forever as, you know, an MVP, the one that won the first World Series for him, which makes me mad again that Gina Davis is even here, right? Because it just doesn't feel earned. It's just, yeah, you're right. And no, I don't like it.
I think, and this is going back to the beginning, when Dottie's daughter was trying to get her to go to the Hall of Fame ceremony, right? She's like, you've been in this room. You need to get out. You need to go do this thing. And she's just like, I feel uncomfortable. I don't want to go. I feel like nobody would know me. And this is like, you know, it's not something that I love doing. It's just a thing that I did for like a summer. It was one summer kind of thing. And this is the other part. Again, I could see very much why these two sisters are bothersome or you know, bug you the wrong way. Is it because her daughter puts it into terms like, listen, this wasn't just a summer for you. You made an impact. This was a footprint for something that impacted, you know what I mean? Like for a whole generation of people. You were it. You were the face. is not like, I'm not trying to compare it to like some sort of suffrage kind of thing, but in the age of gender inequality at this part, like you fought, you were on the front lines, and you made a difference. You did something. This wasn't just a throwaway. This is something to be recognized.
Which maybe I'm being a jerk then, because at the end of the movie, she gets there to the Hall of Fame. She sees all of the friends, the Rosie O'Donnell character, right, the Madonna, right. Then she finally sees her sister, and she gracefully takes a picture. Maybe that is her redemption at the end of the movie, is that she finally recognizes, that this was something that was important. But, there was also clues and hints, right, in the beginning of the movie when she didn't want to go on the plane and Gina Davis was sitting in the kitchen, arms folded, I'm not going. And her daughter's like, you have not seen your sister in, I don't know, since last Christmas or whatever they said. Like, you definitely could feel that the family's estrayed. Estrayed?
Estranged. Yes,
Estranged.
there definitely is something like you can assume that they aren't close. That they picked separate lives. That they are two rivers once joined. Sorry, I'm doing a Dave, aren't I?
HR's looking at you.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, don't do that.
From they were on one, the mighty Mississippi branched into two separate flowing rivers on their own. Have become two birds that had shared the same nest have now taken flight to go free into the sky. And okay, all right.
I will say this before we get into our popcorn rating, is I do find interesting that these two sisters are at each other's throats, and at the end of the movie, this is the way I read it, right? The movie makes it clear that Gina Davis is a recluse. She doesn't want to go out. She has a daughter. Her husband died last winter, right? But she just stays in her room. We see her older sister. Well, we see her sister older in the movie, and she has like 10 kids.
Yeah, she's got a whole family. She's got a whole litter.
And she's wearing a pantsuit, and she has that bob. It's like, oh, she looks like Hillary Clinton.
Kit brought her caboodle, huh?
Yeah, good job for you, Kip.
Yeah.
Kit. No, I'm just saying, like, so the reason I bring this up is because is the movie trying to say because Kit won the World Series and became the MVP that her life forever now is going to be awesome and have a bunch of kids and wear pantsuits and have a lot of money? And Gina Davis did, so now she's stuck in a room?
I'd say that they both had an idea of how they wanted to live their life. And Dottie's character just wanted to have this simple life. She wanted to be with her husband. She's already married before this all happened, right? And then he gets shipped off to war, and she's just like, all right, I'll put this on pause, and I'll just keep myself busy until my life comes back. Because that's their plan, is coming to town. He's going to be the manager of the Dairy Mart. They're going to have a family and all that, the dream, right? Where Kit feels like she's stuck on this farm. She doesn't want to be here. She can't be here. And so she pleads with Dottie to say, hey, listen, please, let's do this because I can't be here. I got to go somewhere else. And I think that's what the end of the movie was. Honestly, where Dottie had recognized that after this game, she's going back home. She's going back to her life, right? But if Kit loses here, she might be joining her. She might be going back to that life too. So I think that was her way of just saying, this is your chance. I'm going to give it to you because as much as I love you, I want to be with you. I like being your older sister. I like being the one to watch over you and all this stuff. I can't. This is the time, right? And I think no, that's I'm done.
So because I was gonna say, like, Tom Hanks even says during the dugout, he's just like, No, I'm sorry, they're in the bus, and he's just like, "So your husband's gonna come back, and he's gonna be a manager at a Quickie Mart?"
Yeah.
She's like, "Yeah, it's gonna be great. We're gonna have kids," and he's just like, "You're the best women's baseball player in the country."
Yeah.
Seriously? So, Kit got exactly what she wanted. She became her sister, and she lived what her sister's life should have been. I wish I had your life. No, I don't want your life.
No, I feel like Kit just wanted to be something more than that farm girl.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, popcorn rating time. So, if one of us gives this a large, I'm not trying to show my hand. If we both give this a large, this does not get nominated for Film of the Year because this is a part of our sports retrospective, right?
Yeah, and this is for baseball.
Right.
Would you do another
So-
movie for baseball besides this one?
A few. I don't know why we didn't do Field of Dreams.
Because we already did a Kevin Costner movie.
Yeah, Bull Durham too, right?
Oh, there you go.
Right. No, I mean, so you got those two. You got Rookie of the Year, Angels in the Outfield. Watch Angels in the Outfield again. We showed Riley early this summer, Angels in the Outfield. That movie hits different, way different.
I heard a comedy bit about that where it's just like the dad was a Dylan McDermott, right? Because doesn't he just like leaves? He's like, yeah, I'm just gonna go up north. Well,
Yeah,
because
no,
I'm gonna ride my motorcycle up north, kid. Bye.
Yeah, he was like Rebel Without a Cause. He shows up for one day and then he leaves, and then like it just the movie hits different because you realize as a grown adult, it's like, oh my god, this is about abandonment. So anyway, there's tons of movies, but this one's fine. This one's great. I think this is something that we should review. But again, if I give it a large, if Eric give it a large, this does not get nominated for Film of the Year. This is just for the retrospective series. So with that being said, I mean, I'm gonna give a League of Their Own a large, even though that I don't like the central characters. This movie is such an ensemble piece, and the strength is the supporting cast. I mean, Tom Hanks is not even a main character, and he is great in this role. I like Rosie O'Donnell, Madonna. I thought those two were perfect for the roles. Every woman besides the sisters were great. I felt so bad for Betty Spaghetti. Didn't have those feelings with the sisters.
Sure, I
Yeah,
agree with you
yeah.
100%. Yeah.
I like that it stays true to history. So I was Googling a lot about this league, and this was the uniforms that they wore.
Nice.
And I thought that was really cool. They wore these uniforms. I really wish, though, that they introduced a team in this movie that was the greatest name in the league in real life. The Blue Sox. I like that.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, they gotta have some separation, I guess, right?
Yeah, I like that. So, peaches are fine, but no, I really did enjoy this movie. I'm glad after all these years, I can finally say that I've seen it all the way through. So I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. That means since I give this one a large, and if you give this a large, if you do, this would be the highest rating of the sports retrospective series. So Eric, I'm kind of on my edge of my seat here. What are you going to give League of Their Own?
Oh, listen, I'll tell you right now, I have an absolute bias from this movie. I grew up with this movie.
Oh,
If
okay.
if it was on, because I had seen it so many times. In fact, I was debating about rewatching it because I knew this movie front to back. I just watched it all the dang time. I just always liked this movie. It's just a feel-good story. It's just kind of it puts the period into perspective a bit of like what's going on without really just ramming it down your throat. It just kind of glazes the surface a bit to kind of give you a sample serving of really what's going on, and I feel that it's great just storytelling. I can understand that the sisters aren't maybe everyone's cup of tea. It might hit harder for other people, maybe who are sisters, who are competitive in that part. But I understand that there's some other characters, maybe like Stillwell Angel, just might have been annoying as hell to a lot of other people, as but like having them sneak out to go to the bar, like that's a fun scene. Like there's just a lot of charisma that comes from this cast. And yeah, I agree with you completely, Jordan, that it doesn't work without the ensemble, without the supporting characters. You need to have them because I think they add a good buffer between a lot of the other moments of what the main story is. I'm going to give this a large just because, again, of everything that I said before and because of my complete bias, I was introduced to a lot of characters or a lot of actresses from this movie. I don't know if this was my first for Tom Hanks. I think it was my first for John Lovitz, and he just was a fantastic, yeah. So he's just great. There are parts where I remember as watching it as I would get older, I would catch a bit more of like what was going on, like why the chaperone, Miss Cuthbert, got sick. I think as a kid I didn't catch that. It's like, oh, it's because they poisoned her food, poisoned her food so they could sneak out.
Which is terrible. I was mad at all the girls when they did that. I was like, you literally deliberately food poison. It's like when Owen Wilson put the eye drops in Bradley Cooper's drink there. And
that has apparently been serious. I don't know if you heard that some lady did do that and killed somebody from it. Yeah, it's apparently a bad thing to do. It's very a toxic thing. Although I think the woman who did it, or the person who did kill the other person, I think they did like not just like a little squirt like they did in that movie. I think it was like a bottle or two. It was, yeah.
Yeah, that's bad. A bottle will kill you. So large for me, a large for you.
Yeah,
this is good movie. I enjoy it.
I listen. It's hard for Tom Hanks in this era to do something bad. Right?
I would agree.
I think a lot of his characters are just characters. They're fun. Right? I like Penny Marshall. I think she's a great storyteller as well too. A lot of good bits in here. I think her daughter and brother were all in this movie. I don't know if you recognize the announcer for this, but he played Squiggy in the Laverne and Shirley show.
Oh, really?
And Penny Marshall obviously played Laverne in Laverne and Shirley.
Yeah, good for him.
So, yeah, kind of that stuff. But yeah, there have been TV series that have spawned after this. There was one after the movie came out, and then one that happened recently a few years ago, I think, with who was it, like Abby Jacobs or something.
It didn't last. It lasted a season, if that. I saw.
Oh yeah, yeah. They tried and it probably failed. So.
Hey, they tried. That's all that matters.
I think it's fun that the poster on this movie was Gina Davis, Tom Hanks, and Madonna. Like they really tried to throw Madonna in here to make a grab, but yeah,
It's butts in the seats, bud.
Butts in the seats, baby.
Mm-hmm. Well, everybody, that concludes our review of League of Their Own. Don't worry, we got 2 more episodes to go on our sports retrospective series, right? If you can guess what those sports are we haven't done yet, they're pretty obvious. But we'll talk about that, of course, when we get to that.
That's right. Figure skating, I think, right? And
yeah,
tennis.
Blades of Glory, and that other movie that's a ping pong movie with Christopher Walken as an Asian.
Oh, that's right.
Balls
of Fury, yeah.
Yeah, those are the 2 we're reviewing, everybody. Have fun with that one. But anyway, thank you so much for listening to this most recent episode of Movie Guys Podcast. You can check us out wherever you get your podcast from. We're on that platform. We're also on Twitch now as well. If you go to twitch.tv and search for Movie Guys Podcast, it's a 24-hour stream. If you don't want to go to stream platform and just pick out a random episode, you can just go on to that Twitch account and check out what is this randomly playing. It's a 24-hour stream. It's like your own radio show. Network.
That's right.
So check that out as well. We'll have links in the description. But other than that, Eric, thanks so much for joining me. And we'll be back next week for another awesome episode. Have a good night.
This is The wait, the best?
I'm
Right.
sorry. Yes, I'm totally wrong.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm gonna keep that. Okay,
Although I'd like to do the worst as well too. I think that would be a fun one.
so let me redo this. It's a tournament bracket of the best movies, the movies that won Film of the Year for the awards, right?
Yes.
Next week we'll do the worst movies of the year. But
Oh,
you, Eric,
okay,
out of
okay.
this list here, this is your list. You're going to eliminate and pick, in your opinion, what's going to be
Ooh.
number one movie guys podcast movie.
Wow. Wowzer. Okay.
This could be a tough one.
This
So, Eric,
will be a tough one.
Split versus Malcolm and Marie.
Oh
Who
man.
wins that one?
So oh,
Split was season 2, and Malcolm and Marie was season 6.
yeah. As I listen, I liked both movies. I feel though that Split, because this is a M Night movie, right?
It is.
Yeah. And I feel like it had some issues, but overall, the performance by James McAvoy really just, it doesn't get any better than that, right? I think that movie is the one that people will go to for his career and say, this is what an actor is supposed to do. This is in their element, and he creates that movie. I think Malcolm and Marie is very much a stage performance on camera, flat out. It is in every part just your classic type of dialogue between man and woman in a house and just their back and forth. I think it's very immersive. I do enjoy both very much. I think what stands out is James McAvoy's performance in Split and a lot of the elements in that versus Malcolm and Marie, where I just remember him stabbing the macaroni and cheese more. if you remember what I'm talking about, right? Where he was
do,
like
and-
aggressively eating the macaroni and cheese. So I think I'm gonna go with Split.
Okay. I'm going to submit that score. Split moves on. Joker versus The Whale. Joker was our season 4 winner, and The Whale was our season 8 winner.
Yeah, both are pretty dark in their theme. I am gonna say Whale.
I think you better. Yeah, good pick.
I liked. Listen, obviously I liked all these movies, but I think The Whale just had a bit more of a life lesson. Where I feel like Joker was. It was a slow burn.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's your list, bud. I wanted to surprise you and have some fun here.
I like it.
Avengers Infinity War versus the Batman. Infinity War was our season 3 winner, and the Batman was our season, where is it here? Season 7 winner.
I will do Infinity War because of
Wow.
because of the theater bias. That's honestly what it is. I went to go see Infinity War and Endgame in theaters, and that's like an experience. You know, when you are in the crowd, and you can see reaction videos on YouTube of people watching that movie. I just remember it was great. I like the Batman. That one was a long movie though too, and I feel like I think they did a good job of it. I'm excited to see more of it. Excited to see the sequel, but yeah, I mean, Infinity War is like the peak. That was what 26 movies in out of the 28 movie saga kind of a thing. Like,
Yeah, I still say Infinity War is better than Endgame, but that's.
I mean, you get the memorable scene of Peter Parker saying, "I don't feel so good, Mr. Stark." Like, oh
Yeah. Oh, breaks your heart.
yeah,
right?
it's a oh. Okay.
All right, 1917 versus the Holdovers. 1917 was our season 5 winner, and the Holdovers was our last year's winner. See how we did the bracket there?
Yeah. I'm gonna say Holdovers. I hold a special place in that one. I just enjoy it. I just enjoy it. I like 1917, but I think Holdovers just hit me a little bit more. Maybe out of the, I don't know, maybe some deep rooted like nostalgia for something like Dead Poet Society kind of a thing.
All right, final four. Split versus The Whale.
Ooh.
Who's going to go to the finals?
Two huge performances by two huge actors. One quite literally. Man.
Yeah.
Which
one would you go back and watch more often? I've not seen The Whale since we reviewed it. But I still go to YouTube and click scenes of Split.
Yeah, I guess it would be Split. I feel like The Whale is like emotionally draining, where a Split just kind of has a bit more thrill to it. So I think I'll go with Split on that. I agree with you.
I wasn't trying to deter you.
No, but as much as I enjoy both those movies, like I don't have the capacity to watch The Whale annually, let alone biannually. It's a rough one.
And Avengers: Infinity War versus The Holdover. Who goes against the Split for the championship?
Oh boy.
Another thing too to help you is that this is your list, but it's like this is also like the movies that won. We all gave all these movies large bags across the board, right? So it's like this is not only your list, but what you think like the ultimate movie guys like movie is, right? Like the winner of this. This is like what we as movie guys say is a perfect movie.
Yeah. And the reason for that, I am going to say Holdovers for this very reason. Is that I think when 10 years down the road, I think when you look at those two movies, you're going to look, or people will look at Infinity War and be like, oh, that's so 2000s or 2010s. That is an era type movie. That is capturing kind of a cultural phenomena that was in something that we all lived through. I don't think it, as it progresses into further sagas, I don't think it will age as well. I think it's one of those movies where you had to be there, kind of a thing. I think Holdovers is just kind of timeless. It's a period piece, and it just captures a different time of life, man. It's a coming of age movie, and it's also a Christmas movie.
So then the championship, Split versus The Holdover. Eric, your opinion? What is the best movie so far that we've reviewed?
I'm picking my bias.
10 years.
I'm picking my bias. Holdovers. Yeah, that's a good game, man. I like this. It's one of those where I like my answer, but I also feel bad for like the other ones. It's like, oh man, wait. Would it be different if I had them paired up with other movies? Who knows? But that's the game we get.
Right. Well, the funny thing is that Split was just a little old movie. We didn't know what it was until the very end, right? So it's kind of like to have that go into the championship round against Holdover, that shows its strength right there, right, bud?
Yeah, exactly. I think, again, with that movie, though, I feel like, too, James McAvoy and Anna Taylor-Joy really carried that movie through its mistakes.
There's a lot of mistakes in that movie. I will totally agree with you.